Hello and welcome to Warehouse and Operations as a Career podcast. I'm Marty and I'd like to thank you for clicking in with us today. Let's see, I've kind of gotten behind on a few questions that's been sent in. Let me see if I can get a few of them answered for us real quick. I really like this one here. A gentleman asked, how would you recommend I get into warehousing? I'm not sure what his work experiences are, but he goes on to state all the good companies are wanting someone with experience. When we're looking for work and we're cruising all the job boards and classifieds, of course, the first thing that catches our eyes is going to be the pay rates. Now, this is where human nature will kick in a little bit. Of course, we want the job paying the most. If we see two postings for an order selector paying X number of dollars an hour and one right beside it paying $5 more, we're putting on our shoes and headed out the door to fill out that application, right? Almost always that higher paying position is going to be in a heavy productivity role. It's paying more because there's a lot more responsibility and experience required to hit those pieces per hour numbers or quotas. I feel we can be there within a year, though. All we need to learn is how to reach those numbers. It can be done in just a year or 12 months. All we need to do is have a plan. I'm not exaggerating or talking a lot of self-help talk here. It really is up to us, and all we need is that plan in place. I reached out to the gentleman and he hadn't got back with me yet, so let's make a couple of assumptions and develop a quick plan, kind of set our goal of getting a warehouse job and making, let's say at least $5 more an hour in less than 12 months. Okay, there's typically 2,080 regular work hours in a year. If we increase our earnings by $5 an hour, that's an additional $10,400 increase year over year, and that's before any overtime. Now, if you're shaking your head right here, I'm pretty sure you're not going to reach our new goal. You're probably already setting yourself up and accepting that first rate of pay. So how do we get started? We need to first target a warehouse, industry, or company that has the position that we'd like to learn. Whether it's order selecting or forklift driving, maybe inventory control, or maybe we're interested in transportation. A delivery driver is another really good job. And don't forget about all the production and manufacturing facilities out there. Operating machinery and assembly work are great career fields too. Let's look for any open position that they have. We'll need a general labor position or utility task. Any entry-level position will do, or anything that meets our present skill level. Remember, this job is just to get us past HR. We have to be an employee to get started with our plan. Don't worry about the pay rate. I know that's a whole lot easier, to say than it is to do. We've all got bills and responsibilities, and we need to make X number of dollars a week to get them paid. If we can, let's think it through, though. Yes, we're worth more than what we've just been offered, but we want even more than what our experience is earning us right now. If we're out of work, let's take the job. I really believe we're going to start getting increases within our first 3 months. If there's any way possible, write it out. It's going to pay off for us. I was speaking with a young lady last month that said no, she couldn't work for less than X number of dollars an hour. Actually, that figure was more than she had ever earned before. We're out of work. Any income is better than zero. Let's take the position and see where it goes, what we can make out of it. Myself, I found produce companies, grocery distribution, the big box retail distribution centers, or maybe the institutional or food service broadline facilities to be great foot-in-the-door warehouses. Also, every large manufacturing company will have, usually utility positions opened also. Once we're on the inside or we're an employee, we put our plan into action. Let's be on time every shift, 10 minutes early even. We're going to speak up at every startup meeting, even if it's just a yeah or maybe add, let's do this to the conversation. Just about anything, just get us noticed. This one thing will get us noticed by our bosses. We'll need to do our job well, observing every position that's around us. There's always positions that touches ours in one way or another. Like if our job is to bale cardboard or shrink wrap, the sanitation position, that cleans up the cardboard probably pays a little more. And maybe they utilize the scrubber machine or a single pallet jack too. A piece of equipment. Equipment usage generally will bring us better earnings. So we'll wait until we can do our task really well. Within a month, I bet we can be really good at it. Remember, we'll have to work a little harder than the other bellers because we want to make more money than the other bellers. This is when we'll go to our boss. I always suggest to make it towards the end of the shift, when the day's stresses and pressures are off a little bit. They've realized they're going to get those doors closed. And we're not going to ask for a raise. This is really important. Rarely can our supervisor or lead grant us a pay increase, or even if they like us a lot, there's no incentive for them to go ask their manager or VP for money for anyone. We're going to say something like, "Hey boss, I've been here about a month and I think I'm doing a pretty good job, as we've never had to talk about anything or had an evaluation of any kind, and I'd like to throw my name in the hat for a sanitation position if something comes up. It looks interesting and I want to learn all of our positions." We've just expressed our desire for a raise and kept the conversation within his powers. We've probably even set him or her up for an attaboy from their boss. It's so much easier for them to go tell their manager that, "Hey, so-and-so has been doing a great job and they've expressed an interest in sanitation. I think that they'd make a great hand." Money's never been brought up. Our immediate boss has just conveyed to their manager how great they've trained us and how they're bringing us right along. Everyone's won, or at the very least, both bosses now know that we're wanting more responsibility and more money. I believe we can expect that first promotion within a month or so, as soon as there's an opening. Then we just repeat this part of our plan until we reach our goal and pay rate. I know that's a bit simplified, but it can honestly work just that way. My point being, we need a job, and we ought to go into it with a plan. Making more money will come if we plan and want more money because we're willing to do more every step in the chain. If you're in a situation like we're talking about and you feel that you're stuck, send us an email and we'll talk about how to maybe get around the wall that's holding you back. We'd be happy to offer up any experiences we can, and one of us has probably had to work around that same thing before. I'd like to go over equipment operation again real quick too. I received a phone call just today from a young lady that wanted to know how much it cost to get her forklift certification. She said that she had called 2 different places and had gotten 2 different prices and 2 different stories about the class. We've talked about equipment certifications a couple of times here on the show, but I'd like to remind everyone that experience will get us our licenses, and I honestly don't know of any real shortcuts out there. Our employer is going to train us and give us our 29 CFR 1910.178 training for free. I think those paid courses are great as a safety class or a refresher course, but please do a little research on what you're getting for your money. Going to a class without any experience on the machine is going to get you a nice laminated card to carry, and they may give you a few addresses to staffing companies, but you're going to hear that they're looking for experienced drivers. Think about it for a minute. We know the equipment can be dangerous, and we're going to be carrying a heavy load with it, running around a warehouse full of racking, product, and people. Those jobs are just no place to start our warehousing careers. Again, they're great career jobs, and our employer will work with us, train us, and certify us when we're really ready. Check out OSHA.gov online if you'd like to see what all is actually in the reg. I think you'll be amazed with it. Powered industrial truck training, or 29 CFR 1910.178, and you can just enter that into your browser too. It'll pull up the standard. Was actually created to protect us employees and our employers. By following its instruction and training, you'll have a productive, prosperous, and safe career. And if you know me at all, this is where I'll throw in my to never, ever get on or even touch a piece of powered equipment or machine that you haven't been trained on. Just stay away from it. Well, I won't go on and on today. I hope you found the episode interesting and I said something that will help you out somehow. Send in any questions you may have about your positions to host at warehouseandoperationsasacareer.com, and we'll do anything we can to help you out. Remember, we're on Facebook and Twitter just about every day using the little @ WHSEANDOPS. And if you're an equipment operator, check out the Facebook group Warehouse Equipment Operators Community. You can get almost any question answered there as well. Please have a safe and awesome week out there.